Skyler Halford, the original karma recipient.
Thank you. I am just so glad that I just asked Spencer before this, I was like, are we going to live this 20 years from now? And
Forever.
Hey, that's the way I'll be a legend. Not like, Ty, Jimmer, they can have the legend that way. I'm going to be the karma legend.
The important thing is you had a moment.
Yes.
I had a moment.
You had a moment. So many people don't get moments.
We got so many tweets that, like, after you went for 28, so many people on social media were like, the karma's a real thing. Skyler Halford went nuts.
The coincidence. How funny. That was fun. Good times.
So we're at the best time of year, March, for a basketball fan. Everybody's got a fighting chance. How does the mentality shift from a 16-game regular season fight to 4 days?
Yeah. And gosh, it's crazy to think that it's in 4 days. I'm just like, it's so lucky those guys have that Sunday day off. Because it is a grind. I just remember when we were playing, guys are on massage tables, like guys are getting treatment every day because your body takes a hit. But the mentality is this, at least for me, March is here and the opportunity is there. No matter where you sit in the seating, the opportunity is there, and it's so exciting for all the players, the team, and you just have that, we could make it to the NCAA tournament. And I think that's the mentality, and that's the excitement, and that's the hope. And as a player, that's what gets you ultra focused.
BYU is the 5 seed, which ties the lowest seed that they have been in, going back with last year, so they play on Friday. But we all feel, and me have been probably the most vocal about it, that it lines up well in terms of matchups. March, to me, is so much about matchups.
Yeah.
BYU had great success against Portland and San Diego, but they're different teams this time around. They, too, are playing with just an added level of desperation. So that first game, and as you look at what BYU could potentially face, how do you feel about the Cougars' bracket lineup in Las Vegas?
Yeah, as a 5 seed where they're at, they're in the best position they possibly could be. Like as a 5 seed to make it to that championship game, semifinals, championship game, give themselves a chance. I mean, this is as good a road as you're going to get, I think, for them. Granted, like you said, every team is playing, a little bit different right now as before when BYU played them, but there's a chance. There's a really good chance, I feel, that they could get to that St. Mary's game. But you hate looking ahead. As a player and a coach, just that, it comes back inside. I'm like, something's telling me to stop talking right now. Just focus on the first one.
We spent a lot of time developing players. A basketball team, like the current one for BYU, as they arrive at this point, they are what they are.
Yeah.
There's no time to change who you are, right? It's kind of like Saturday. Shore up some things, play hard, and you can win. But there's no time to go, we need to be somebody different.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you are who you are, but I feel like you have ebbs and flows within who you are. And I think right now, BYU's playing in a place where, for example, just a couple of names that come to my mind are like Rudy. Rudy Williams right now is on his ebbs and flows. Right now, his trajectory is upward. And I feel like, I mean, he's had like 5 turnovers in his last 4 games. Like, those are stats that you want for your point guard. Yeah. And I feel like, as far as that thing goes, like this year they've had turnover issues, but I feel like right now they're in that ebb and flow, the part where they are heading in the right direction.
Okay.
And that could be positive for them and help them play into getting a little bit further in the tournament.
Is there something that's, I hate to use the word fixable because we're late in the season. It's late. But is there something that BYU can tweak to maintain an upward trajectory? If so, what is the aspect of the game that you feel like BYU can somewhat fix or tweak going to Vegas?
Yeah, I think for me, when I watch them and when they are playing a little bit more up-tempo, so when they try and get some easy baskets in transition, those easy baskets add up over the long term. I know Coach Pope likes to play in the half court, and they do a really good job there as well. But, for example, like Rudy Williams, I think I heard recently when I was watching one of the games, he's like #1 in the WCC for offensive transition efficiency or something like that. And I just think there's little things like that that maybe you give a little bit of an uptick in, like a little bit of an up-tempo type style. And then that frees up guys like Jackson Robinson, Spencer Johnson, Rudy himself, just to get some 3-point baskets. I'm going to just put this out there. I know we haven't proven to be the best 3-point shooting team. If they're going to win this tournament, they have to shoot well from the 3-point line.
And the Orleans hasn't been, no matter what year it is, BYU's favorite place to shoot.
Yeah.
In that tournament, We've had great shooters go in there, and it's just different.
Yeah, and you need that. I mean, you have to be able to shoot the ball from the three-point line. Well, if BYU shoots 20% or less from the three-point line, they will not win this tournament. Like 20, I mean, maybe even 30. Like they probably need to shoot above 30% from the three-point line, in my opinion, to win this whole thing. And I think the way you do that is in transition. You get some easy open looks for those guys that I mentioned before. And Foose is going to be Foose. You need Foose to be Foose down low and get his 10 to 20 points a game. But I think those other guys, March is always about guard play. It's just how it goes.
I thought one of the key stats coming out of Saturday's game, and you were talking about it on the post-game show, is the rebounding.
Yeah.
Where BYU reminded themselves they can out-rebound a taller team, even by 20, which they did on Saturday.
Yeah.
You don't have to out-rebound every team by 20, but every team is taller, and so that fight has to be down there on the glass to hold your own.
Yep. You got Gideon is going to play a huge role, I think, or needs to, on the offensive and defensive end for rebounding. And that's a given. Rebounding, they've got to win the rebounding game, especially being as, a smaller team. But for me, guys like Gideon who are athletic have the ability to really get up there and get some rebounds, I think will be crucial, as well for them to make it far.
Skyler Halford is with us on BYU Sports Nation. If it's not rebounding, what is it that BYU can take down to Las Vegas that they can sustain from just such a great performance in San Francisco on Saturday? What is the easiest to take with them to Vegas?
For me, it's the fact that your guards are taking care of the ball. Like, that is something that I feel like right now, and I mentioned this before, like Rudy has had only 5 turnovers in his last 4 games. And I don't know, I'm talking a lot about Rudy, but that's what keeps coming to my mind. And
well, it's about guard play. That's why you're going there.
And Dallin Hall does a great job too. I just feel like they complement each other really well. Dallin does a really good job, I feel like, in the half court and the pick and roll and taking care of the ball that way. And I feel like for whatever reason, Rudy does a really good job in transition, finding the right guys, making the right play, getting the free throw line. For heaven's sakes, he was at the free throw line like 16 times in that game.
Yeah. Made 15 of them.
Made 15 of them. And for me, it's just continuing that where you're at. Just do what you're doing right now. Play the way you're playing. I mean, and I feel like Rudy, I was just looking, I was curious what Rudy's was like in their tournament last year, like with Coastal Carolina. He was so good. He averaged like 20.5 points a game. And I don't know, maybe tournament time is his time. And so I'm hoping that, I guess that's my hope, is that comes up.
What's a number that they can sustain in the turnover mark? Is 14 or fewer good enough?
Oh.
Because they had 10 on Saturday, and that was like, whoa, that was great. It was an outlier.
I know. To win, I mean, you talk about playing in the later games, I think you're going to have to be like 10, maybe 11 to win.
Okay.
To win. If we're talking win. I mean, they might be able to get away with 14 or fewer against a Portland, San Diego, or maybe even a Loyola, depending on how far they go there. But a St. Mary's and a Gonzaga, to me, it has to be 10 or fewer to win.
You went 4-2 in WCC tournaments. Ran into Gonzaga in the championship games in back-to-back seasons. Yeah. One year they were ranked number 2, and then they were all the way back to 7, I think, on the second year. So the Zags are still there, and they're still the beasts of this thing.
Yes.
But as you guys marched through, how much fun was it?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. March Madness, conference tournaments, March Madness. As a kid, that is what you dream of. That's the thing you want to do the most. And when you get in there, everything's just different. The feel's different. You don't have to, like, I wasn't thinking about school. I'm just going to put it out. Like, I wasn't thinking about school. I wasn't thinking about anything else. Your mind is free. You're playing the game you love. And the opportunity is there to fulfill that dream of playing in the NCAA tournament. And so that's why, gosh, it's just a magical time. Fans are traveling down to Vegas. You've got all your people there. And gosh, every game is just, it feels like a nail biter to get to the end. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
What's the key to creating your own energy? Because the Marriott Center, come on, it is a special place.
Yeah.
It was special on Saturday night. I mean, almost 16,000 showed up to watch a team that was 6-9 in conference play going into that scenario. Yeah. And it felt like BYU may as well have been in first or second place.
Right.
It was electric, to say the least. But now you go to Vegas and the Orleans Arena, you're playing in an early game. I mean, there will be a few thousand fans there.
Right.
Very different. How do you manufacture your own energy?
Gosh, what comes to my mind is a practice. Coach Pope was an assistant at the time when I was there, and I remember he pulled me, Chase Fisher, and Ty aside, and he just said the energy in this building has to be there today. And I mean, we practice in the Marriott Center. There's not a single person there, you know, maybe a few reporters or whatever, and that, I remember, it comes from your leaders. So, you know, the senior leadership in Rudy, Gideon, Spencer Johnson, I think, is a big-time leader here. Those guys, you know, I think they need to be a little bit more vocal. They need to show, and I get it. Not everybody's emotional. You don't have to be emotional. But I think when you see a captain, somebody be a little bit emotional when you're in those situations, it fires you up. And that's really big, I think, for some of the younger players playing that haven't been in this, to kind of calm some of the nerves, go making some of those plays, being emotional. I mean, that's how I did it. I just got all pumped up and excited, yelling, screaming. But yeah, that was what worked for me.
A year from now, when you're back, talking about the Sports Nation karma again, because that doesn't go away.
Naturally.
We'll be talking about Kansas City and getting ready for the Big 12 tournament, which feels like on a different planet than the WCC. And there's not a lot of time to make that kind of a jump.
Yeah.
Forecast what's going from here to there.
You know, it's going to be a big offseason, and I think regardless of who you can get in the offseason, player-wise, every player, whoever is on this roster, you know, going into next season has to have a new commitment to player development. Like, it just has to be top of the line. You've got to get yourself better from where you are, and you're going to have great. I mean, I'm not going to put them out of the. You know, I never am going to say they're not going to make it. They can't perform and do well in the Big 12. I just don't. That's not my philosophy. I believe that anything can happen. But yeah, it's going to be a big challenge, but it's going to be a great learning curve for them. First year in, it's going to be amazing to have teams like Kansas, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, all those teams come here, see how we do against those big teams here, and then get that opportunity there. So there's a lot of work to be done, but I think the guys are up to the challenge.
It just so happens you specialize in player development.
Yeah.
In fact, you're rocking the Halford hoops.
Yes, sir.
Here, okay? Precision therapy.
Yes.
So what's happening in your life, and what is Halford Hoops all about?
Yeah, so I've been doing that ever since I graduated back in 2015, doing skills training with players in the area, worked with old teammates when I was here at BYU, and I love that. That's my favorite thing, is just learning how to develop players and help them reach their goals and dreams, essentially. But then it's kind of evolved. Within the last year, I got my license, and now I'm a doctor of physical therapy. And so now,
Do we need to say Dr. Halford?
You don't need to, no.
We will.
No, you don't need to. But yeah, got my doctorate in February of last year. Been practicing for a year now, and just kind of trying to get it to be the one-stop shop for all hoopers, where they can come and get rehab, performance therapy, they can get basketball skills training, and trying to, as a player for me, I would have loved something like that. I mean, I had great performance trainers and coaches, but I'm trying to put it in one place to kind of help everybody develop in the area. So it's been so much fun. It's a ride. It's been a good time, though.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I guess Googling Halford Hoops will get the job done.
You'll find it, yeah.
That's fantastic.
There's a Dr. J already. We go Dr. H.
Okay.
Dr. Halford.
Oh, Dr. Sky.
Dr. Sky. Whatever you guys want. Sky, Dr. Sky, whatever you guys want.
Let's go. He's a karma legend and just a great dude overall, Skyler Halford. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Hey, thanks so much, guys. It was so much fun to be here with you.
Good to see you.